literally threw the car in drive, and I smashed off. And I made this left right here. And I was probably going about 40, 50 miles an hour when I noticed that I couldn't stop. And I made this turn, this left turn right here, where I clipped another car. Boom, right here I clipped another car. And I kept going. I remember seeing kids on the side playing. And I'm like, they don't even know what's going on.
What's going on, everybody? My name's Professor Parks, and today I get to hang out with my buddy Richard Dahl. He's also a paraplegic. He lives out in Cali, Inglewood area. He went to high school, graduated Tuskegee, right? Did I say that right? Tuskegee? Okay, yeah. Tuskegee, around 2017, and that's sort of when your life took a different turn. Like you went to school and wanted to go to school and be, you said sports management a little bit there?
Yeah, I was doing sports marketing, and my boy, he was doing sports management. He was gonna do the firm thing, so I was out there networking when two guys tried to rob me in an attempted robbery. They shot at me as I drove away in my car. One of the bullets came through, hit me in the back, and instantly paralyzed me. I was getting into my car right here. Two dudes approached me. I'm on passenger side. As I opened the door, one of them opened the door, and he tried to grab my bag that was in the passenger side. When he tried to do that, I grabbed it back when I noticed that it was a gunman in my back passenger window. I seen him in the corner of my eyes as I'm wrestling with the other individual, and that's when I decided like I needed to get out of there at that moment. That it was nothing that I could do but get out of there, and that my life depended on me getting out of there. So I literally threw the car in drive, and I smashed off. My leg got stuck on the gas pedal. I ended up crashing. At the time I didn't know, exactly what was going on. I was just more so trying to get away. So, I threw the car back into drive, and I was driving like with my legs stuck on the gas pedal.
You could move your legs at the time?
I couldn't, no. So I was like pretty much shifting the car back and forth between drive and neutral.
Okay.
I was shifted back into neutral. The
yep.
car was
move a little bit, yeah.
And then I was shifted back into drive, and it was like, like.
Okay. So you kind of got to a safer location and assess yourself. What the fuck happened?
Yeah. And then I noticed that's when I knew instantly I was shot, but that's when I figured out I was shot in my back. I touched my back. I felt the blood. I called my cousin and let him know what was going on, and then I made arrangements to go to the hospital. I don't know why initially.
Called 911? An ambulance or something?
I didn't. That's why I said I made arrangements.
I made arrangements to get to the hospital. Right.
I made a friend pick me up. I don't know why my initial aspect. I mean, my initial mindset wasn't to call 911. I don't know. Out here in LA, the police presence is different. So our initial.
It's not to call them right away.
To call 911 because the police out here are aggressive.
Right.
If you get shot out here, they're looking at you like,
why? What'd you do? Why?
Yeah, with the gangs and the stuff like that, or they're gonna ask you, you're gonna be sitting there bleeding. They're gonna ask you where you from? And you're like,
you got ID? You got ID?
Yeah.
Where's the ambulance? Yeah. What the fuck, man?
I'm like, man, I need to get to the hospital, and I know my peoples is gonna get me to the hospital fast. They're not gonna be trying to investigate and trying to figure out what's going on, So I ended up finally getting to the hospital where I underwent surgery. I had a spinal fusion on my L2 vertebrae. And that left me paraplegic. I am like I said, an L2 incomplete agency. I
Where
have
is that on
movement.
the body, L2? Because I am
L2
C or I'm T6, so that's like almost center of my body.
center, yup. L2 is like waist down, pretty much,
Okay.
like literally waist down.
Yeah. That's where my
So
paralysis is too. My injury is in the middle, but I have all my core, and yeah, my paralysis is waist down. I kind of got blessed there in a sense of
and
paralysis.
then mine extends a little further. Like I have movement in my legs, and like my right leg, I can literally like pick it up, moving around like that, put
Very
it down,
cool.
fold it in, fold it out, like
Wow.
and then I can take steps in a walker as well. Um, so uh, it's very incomplete. I have
Very,
feeling
yeah.
up to my knees on my top of my legs. On my bottom, the feeling is very faint. Like, on the part where you sit is very faint.
Hmm.
But I do have sensation there. So, it's a blessing.
Very, yeah. So can you walk by any means? Like if you have like a leg brace on the one leg that can't move so much?
Yeah, exactly. I can
Mm-hmm.
definitely do that. And I can also walk. I can take steps with the walker. It's just like my left leg. I think that if I was to get in the pool, I can get it stronger.
Yes,
But my left
aquatherapy
leg,
is fucking everything.
like my left leg isn't as strong as my right leg, so it's not able to lock out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I
And
can lock
hold
my
yourself up. Right,
yeah,
right. So
yeah.
do you have atrophy in both legs, or do you find that your one leg is much bigger than the other because you can move it so much?
I have atrophy in both of my legs, but I have more tone in my right leg. Like
That makes a lot more sense. You're using it.
yeah,
You're using it a lot more, right? So
yeah.
that's wild. Okay, so were you covered in tats prior to you getting paralyzed, or was this something that you just decided?
I had two half sleeves prior to me getting paralyzed. I had
Like
my
on the forearms there?
on the top part.
Top, okay, up here. Yeah.
But then I was like when I first got to Tuskegee, I was actually training to be a military officer in the Army.
Respectful. Wow.
So I ended up not going through with that just because I felt like it wasn't really for me, and I felt like God had a different path for me. But at that time I had two half sleeves. I had my back, and I had my chest, um, and my leg. And then once I got back home is when I started to complete my sleeve. And then it was probably around like September, August when of like not not this last year, but the year before last, when I actually called my mom and asked her. I was
Can
like,
I get
Mom,
my hand tatted?
I said, what you feel about me getting my hands? Because I feel like that's like a bit like, it's like almost getting your face tatted or something.
Well,
So
yeah,
like
like your neck.
I just wanted
Yeah,
to, yeah, I
yeah.
just wanted to pass it by my peoples before, like
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you think about me getting my hand tatted? And she's like, well, what are you gonna get? And I'm like, oh, my brand. She's like,
My
yeah, get
brand.
it.
Cool. You know what? You know what, man? I saw when I was watching your video, and I will tag that video underneath because it's incredible. And everybody listening to this right now needs to watch it because your story does no justice by you telling it right now. It's an incredible story. But that video, you took us with you on the journey, came down the street where it all happened.
And, it was, we're just talking about it right now.
Yes, we were just
Like
talking
that.
about it.
That was a little more visual,
Very,
It was
very,
a little
yeah.
more in depth.
Yeah, maybe, and I'm probably gonna put a little clip of maybe you going down the street just so people can see it, and definitely gonna be linking that so they can check that out. And I bring this up, and I bring your mom up because watching that video, yo, she is hella strong. Like she held herself together throughout that whole video. Not a single tear, was able to explain her story, laugh, chop it up with y'all, and like, yo, she's strong as hell, man.
Yeah, no, Mom.
She seems super cool, man. She seemed very cool.
And she was the first person by my side. Like I remember like going to the hospital, like before I even got to the hospital, like called my cousin. I'm like, yo, bro, I got shot. He like, what? I'm like, yeah, bro. Some dudes tried to rob me, bro. They shot me as I drove away. Like, I'm like, I'm good though. Like, he's like, all right, well, I'm about to call your mom. I said, no, don't call my mom.
No.
Like, literally, and they at the hospital, they like, do you have emergency contact? I'm like, yeah, but don't call her. Like,
shut the fuck up.
I'm like,
yo, this
I'm not dying. I'm like, don't
up.
call her. Like, she's gonna flip out. Like, let me call her. Like,
if I'm not dying, don't call my mom. I will call her.
Call her. Let me call her. And you know, my cousin, he eventually called my dad. And okay, all right, you can call my dad because my dad knows how to talk to my mom.
Okay, so, yeah, smooth situation.
He went in there with some food. She was eating the food. He said, I gotta talk to you. She said, what's up? He said, Richard got hurt. And
got hurt.
Like, goddamn motorcycles, because I rode motorcycles.
It's a goddamn motorcycle.
He got shot. And then she fell out on the floor. Through the El Loco everywhere, fell out on the floor. And he was like, all right, you gotta get your shit together because you're leaving at 7 o'clock. You gotta be there. And she left 7 o'clock, and you know, I think I woke up probably around like 9, 10 that next morning, and she was right there. I remember it was like he sleep, and then she was like, Richard, and I'm like, I remember I woke up, like, I'm like, Ma. And then she was like, I'm sorry, like, you know, and I'm like,
right away, I'm sorry, like, I'm sorry.
Sorry, like, and then she like, it's okay, and then I just knocked back out, like, you know.
Oh, really? Yeah, you're wonked out on drugs, medication.
Crazy, because I remember hearing her voice, like, and I remember like just waking up, like I was still like out of it. Still, I literally just had got out of surgery, and they was like, "Well, he's still sleeping. He just got out of surgery." And she's like, "Wait, surgery? Like y'all say he was gonna be okay?" Like, you know, because at that point, you know, everybody was saying like, you know, Rich got shot, but he's gonna be okay.
Gonna be all right. Yeah.
Not like wheelchair okay, like.
He's gonna be walking. He's survived. Yeah. Okay is a different. Yeah. There's different definitions of okay.
Like being in a wheelchair.
Right. That's funny because
now it's okay.
Right.
You know?
That's funny because there's different definitions. Yeah.
From that to this, like being in a wheelchair is not okay. Like,
yes.
That is not the words you use when you tell somebody their son got shot.
There's a different definition between us,
but he's
man.
okay.
Yeah.
And then she see a wheelchair. She see like what? Like y'all said he was okay.
Yeah. She thought something different. I'm sure everybody else did too. I'm sure you did. Like when I think okay, I'm think like as long as they're alive. Like we have different definitions of it.
With me and me not trying to tell my mom, so that tell you where my mindset was.
Right.
I tell you, like, I was like, okay, I got shot. I can't move my legs, but most people can't move when they get shot. You know, like.
Was that what it was? Like, you didn't think paralysis right away? You're like, most people can't move.
I didn't think paralysis. I thought, like.
You're in shock?
Momentarily paralysis. Like, you know, like.
Momentarily paralysis.
Like, I'm saying, like, when people, like, get shot and their arm is dangling, they're like, I can't move my arm, like, I'm thinking I got shot, and I'm like, I can't move my leg, like. But I never paid attention that I couldn't move both of my legs, like.
Right, yeah. It's just the one driving leg. You're just trying to get out of there, kind of thing. Yeah.
I think that's what it was, like. But then at the same time, I kind of knew I was paralyzed, like, you know. I was like.
Don't tell my mom.
No, but I'm like, I'm fiddling the gas and the neutral and the gas. Like I knew, like, you know, like
something was wrong.
Like, yeah, I did. It was weird, you know.
It's a wild situation, man.
You know, now I got my brands and stuff. You know, I'm back living independent. You know, so now I'm okay.
Now,
you know?
How many years later? You know, like it's been
3.5 for me.
3.5 years. Me too.
Well, about 3 and 8 months. I turned 4 June 18th.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's actually wild. I thought it was longer. I really thought it was longer until I looked into you, and then I realized that, you know, I was paralyzed in 2017 as well, or 2018, 2017 as well. Like it's gonna be 4 years for me in October.
Right.
or yeah. It's fucking wild, man. The things that we do. Like you made this WalkingRich brand, which I think is super cool. It's clever. The name's clever. I like the logo. I think everything about it's cool.
And it was funny because I didn't really grasp onto it. I just recently grasped onto it. Maybe like November of 2019 was when I really was like, this is this. I'm gonna go full fledged with this.
Right.
I gotta put on my hand. I had went to Alabama and sold about 100 shirts and a bunch of sweatsuits and stuff in like 3 days. So I was like, like I got something here.
Yeah.
And
Dude, the brand is sweet. The brand is awesome.
yeah, I was like, but before I, take it full fledged, like let me get it, copyrighted and trademarked and stuff like that.
Attaboy. Attaboy.
And, I started, taking it more serious. But yeah, we actually came up with the name because my boy, he was like, yo, what do you want to name the documentary? I'm like, name the documentary, like documentary. I didn't think we had to name it. Like,
yeah,
I'm like, name it documentary. Like,
name it documentary. You're too fucking killer.
He's like, nah, you gotta have a name for it. And I'm like, WalkingRich.
There you go.
A story of perseverance. Like,
I saw that. Yeah, a story of perseverance.
And, over time is when I started really thinking about what WalkingRich meant to me, and it started to like, I'm the type of person like things for me are valued over time, so like over time is when I it started really like becoming valuable to me, and it really had that meaning. Like WalkingRich for me, I'm WalkingRich for perseverance, but to each his own, whether you want to be WalkingRich with actual money, faith, knowledge, to each his own, just because, I choose to WalkingRich with perseverance and someone else choose to WalkingRich with faith, who are we to tell someone that they're not rich and what they value?
Wild. I didn't think that deep into it like that. I didn't.
Yeah,
That's
so
wild.
it's definitely a deeper underlying meaning. A lot of people, they see WalkingRich and they just like, oh, bet, let's get it.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, and the actual the brand is cool.
Secure the bag,
yeah, yes. But rich doesn't always mean, you're not always rich within funds. Like you could be rich within God.
Or people all the time, and like some people like whether you want to sit there and play video games, and like if that's what happiness is for you, then be happy, just run away with it, do it, but like, to each his own, like,
fucking right. So when you think of the brand WalkingRich, like you seem to be pretty into it. Like, do you want to be like it's a movement for you? It really is. So do you want to be like a public speaker by any means? Like, do you want to talk to people about this type of shit, or is this more of like a clothing brand type situation for you? Like, what is this? Explain this to me.
Are you talking about like? Well, I definitely want to get into public speaking. I definitely want to continue to tell my story, and I see that people are inspired by my story and how I move and what I do. So I definitely want to continue to do that because I see that I help people. So that's like my way of like giving back. Like
100%.
even when it comes to giving back, it's like, I'm giving back, not a lot of people in our situation are in a position to give back, because we need help. Shit. I need help sometimes. I need help all the time.
Yeah.
Like I just did, I went on Melrose and, I just did a quick little pop-up, took my merch out there. Like, I had to hire 2 guys to do that and make that happen,
Right.
There's ways for me to do it myself, but if I really want to do it the way I want to do it, I gotta hire people and I gotta get the help I need, So, I feel like, just like, through inspiring people is my way of, just giving back. And I feel like, that's why, life for me now is better, because I'm living better, like I'm doing better things, it's just better karma,
Right.
in my presence, versus like, I felt like I was always a good person, but I was influenced by the wrong things, and like that kind of kept like that bad type of karma around me, and bad things used to happen, and not to say bad things don't happen anymore, but like even
Right.
I don't know, it's just different, man. It's just different.
Do you think like when this all happened, like you sort of not only dropped like these habits, but you dropped like people and stuff like that? Like you were able to find, yes,
Most
yeah.
definitely, some people went away naturally, just and I distance myself from some people, but I definitely feel like I'm more like an independent type of person. It's just because a lot of people can't relate to being, in a situation like this, and like I feel like it begins. Sometimes it makes it hard to hang out with people, because like you get around people and you hear you know people's problems and the thing that they complain about it. Everybody has their problems, but like I always put it in a perspective like this so people really understand where I'm coming from. Like some people's problem is oh, I can't pay my rent. Get up and go get some money. Like
Yeah. It's
set up
hard
a
for
plan.
you to find sympathy.
Like,
It's hard for you to find sympathy when you've been through something like this, and I totally agree with that. It's hard for me to find sympathy as well.
Set up a plan and go get some money, collect some cans, go do something. There's something
go get some money.
Like bro, when you look at us in our situation, bro, it don't matter how much money you have. It don't matter how much time you put into therapy. Like it's gonna be a long road to recovery
100%.
if you ever recover.
If yeah.
Most of us, like so it's like that's a problem. Like there's really no solution to for me or you to walk. No instant solution. Like
we have to work for it.
They talk about these little things that they consider problems, and not it just be it makes it hard to relate. So like I definitely find myself like being like more like just alone, like not, I don't want to say alone, but just more so being I like to call it independent.
100%. Yeah.
Like, just,
you're handy
like,
capable, not handicapped.
Yeah, like and I like it's even like I can flip it to gangs and stuff. Like like the energy that I get from gang members out here, like like being a gang member, like like it's different versus like if I got like 4 of my homies and like I'm trying to like like portray this certain type of persona, like like people gonna give me that energy back,
100%,
and that's
100%.
when you feel, and that's when you see them guys getting flipped out their wheelchairs, and like like my energy different, like I be like like, and I be alone, like so like if like you gonna do something to me, you gonna do something to me because of you doing something to me, not necessarily because I'm just with these guys and we from somewhere and you're gonna trip on all of us, including the dude in the wheelchair, like so
you're taking yourself out of all those situations now, like
most definitely, like and I even tell my homies, like and I tell them like like the same this I gotta have the same energy that I have with y'all when I'm not with y'all, because what am I gonna do when somebody catch me by myself rolling downtown buying my merch? It ain't like, yeah, what's up? Like, what was that high power stuff you was talking, or
right,
like,
right.
Like, and that's how people walk.
Yeah,
like,
it's really different. It's a different animal down there. It really is a different animal.
So, you got like, and that was like even like big for me when I first got shot. Like,
yeah,
like. And then that's why I moved back to my parents. I just needed a little more time. Like I'm like, what happened when you putting your chair together in this urban area, and it's all these cars driving by, and it's like, somebody can pull up, and like, bro, out here, people get shot over nothing. Like being in the wrong place at the wrong time, wearing the wrong thing. Like
somebody tried to take your bag. You tried to get out of there, and they still shot at you. You did nothing towards them.
Right. I mean,
you know what I mean?
That's in Florida, but I'm talking like out here, you get shot just for sitting in the car.
True. Right.
You know, like like you know, like some dudes drive by, you sit in the car in a certain area, they think you from over there, like they coming back. Like,
wheelchair or not, they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, and they don't even you don't even know you in a wheelchair because you sit in the car.
Right.
You know, so you know, it's different. You know, like you definitely gotta move different. You know, like you definitely can't put yourself in them situations, like. And that's why you see a lot of dudes out here in wheelchairs, like, especially like the game banger type of guys. And those are the most common guys out here that can put in wheelchairs. Like, they don't even come outside for real. And they don't, you know what I'm saying? They don't, when they do, they whip people, you know, like, you know, versus like, I really live like an independent lifestyle. Like, you know, I'm really like,
yeah.
I really go.
Is there a lot of wheelchair people where you are? Like,
sure.
Really?
Nah. You got to think like in those places, like I can guarantee you there's a lot of wheelchairs in Chicago. There's a lot of wheelchairs in Philadelphia. There's a lot of wheelchairs in New York. There's a lot of wheelchair like there's like a lot of active violence. Like, you know, like
that's actually when I think back to like my buddies from New York just being like, I don't know, really comfortable with the fact that I was in chair and saying, you know, I still can't wait to see you when you come down here, you'll be fine, like we'll put you up and shit. I'm like, isn't it like a difficult situation? Like, how the fuck would you put me up? I'm in a chair, and they're like, now I think about it, they've probably seen it in quite a few times. You know what I mean? It's not.
For sure. Yeah. No, and it's guys out there. Like I know guys personally that's in wheelchairs. Like that's in like Mr. Chin, like Flyboy Lifestyle. Like those are the New Yorkers. Like, and they really out there. They trooping through the snow. You know, Van Ron, he in Chicago. Rashad in Ohio, they trooping through the snow, like, you know, like versus I'm spoiled. I'm like, I got it made, you know.
I'm in Cali.
Like, you know, it's palm trees, the wind blowing, you know, the sun out, the sky blue, you know.
You're in your standing chair or a standing frame, which I'm really happy you were able to gain the funds to do that. And definitely thank you to everybody that was able to donate to him and get that, because the life change that's something like a standing frame can do. He's taking all of the pressure off of his butt right now. He's, you know, like even at this very moment in time, he's got a pressure sore. He's been dealing with this bedridden for at least 20 hours a day in his bed, and you know, minimum that you cannot, I'm sure it's gonna be on, he's gonna be on his side, he's gonna be on his stomach. He needs to stay off of the area, and that's just, I've had it when I first became paralyzed. I went to go transfer onto the toilet, and I just sort of just threw myself, and when I hit that toilet, it was boom, and like that was the beginning. That was the beginning. It just opened it up, and then it got worse, and I don't know, I don't feel it. A week or so goes by.
Making legs hurt right now, like my nerve pain.
So that was something I want to discuss with you too. When you talk about every day, it's hard to find sympathy for people. I feel the same. I don't find sympathy for people, not to be an asshole in any way, but just because of what the fuck I've experienced, man.
So that's how I introduce myself. Like, hey, I'm Rich. I'm an asshole. No.
Fuck it, man. Yeah, and you know, every day, every single day, I experience pain.
You don't hear the truth. And,
right.
Like, you know, like.
Right. So I experience nerve pain every single day. I take a cocktail of meds every single day, and it's just nerve medication. This isn't Oxycontins or anything like that, because that shit doesn't do anything for our nerve pain. And I know you have that shit too. When you were driving and explaining your nerve pain to your homie, when you said it feels like a taser and it feels like electrical, I was like, oh yeah, yep, that's it. That's it, because that's what I say. And my friends are like, a taser? I'm like, yeah, you ever been tased before? Because it's fucking identical, and it's all day, and it wakes me up, and you know, I think the pain medication doesn't do anything, and then I kind of forget to take it for a bit.
Like a placebo.
Yeah, I think that. I'm like, oh, it's placebo for sure, and I forget to take it for a couple hours. I'm like, holy Christ, right? Yeah. It does help a little bit. The smoke helps so much. You know, the chronic is really, really helpful. Not so much to like numb the pain, but more or less just to keep your mind off it, somewhere else, keep it relaxed.
Body,
yes, relax. Exactly.
Because a lot of the times, like I'm so tense from the pain, like like
yeah. Light
I'm
up
like
that blunt, bro.
like
Fucking
balling
right.
up. Like I was in the van yesterday. I was driving the van, and like we're heading to Melrose, and then like I'm like on the overpass turning like a big turn, and I'm like this, like
In pain.
and my dude like, bro, why are you turning like that? I said, bro, I'm trying not to flip this motherfucker. Like I'm like mid-turn, like pain out this world. Like I'm like, just come on, just finish the turn, like like and yeah, like it's crazy. Like and for me, like I don't really take much. Like I don't take anything
You
really.
don't take
I don't
any
take anything
medication
daily.
whatsoever.
I don't take
Oh,
anything
okay.
daily. Every now and then I might take a Percocet or like uh they try to subscribe me to Suboxone. I don't even want to like take that. And I took it once. I really didn't even like the way it made me feel. But like, and that's just so like, like Percocet is like a muscle relaxer, like, so it's just like it just relaxes me. It's the same,
Right.
it does the same thing as like the weed, like,
Yeah.
like, and it just relaxes me, like, and like I don't even take a lot of those, like, cause I don't even really like taking pills, like I was taking gabapentin, Lyrica,
All that is I'm on.
I was taking tripling, I was taking all type of shit, bro, and like, like I was still in pain, So then I was like, I'm taking all this shit, Sometimes I'm forgetting to take it. Then when I forget to take it, I really feel like shit. Like I'm like, like I'm gonna just try to go without it. Like, and I just threw all that shit away, bro, and I went cold
turkey.
and I fucking was in like excruciating pain for like 2 to 3 weeks, bro.
And you just dealt
And
with
then my
it. You didn't
body,
wean
like,
yourself off it. Huh?
yeah, like my body kind of like once it weaned itself off of it, like now, like, my pain is pretty much how it was when I was taking it.
Hmm.
Like,
You like maybe might be a placebo effect kind of thing.
yeah, like, well, like your body just got to get used to it, like I just feel like, like, I mean, everybody's pain tolerance is different, and I definitely
100%.
feel like I have a high pain
I
tolerance.
think so. You fucking got shot, continued driving, didn't call 911. Like you had no like. I don't know if you're just stupid or if you got this fucking pain tolerance and this mentality like I'm a fucking survivor, right? Like,
Right.
and I think it's the second one because I don't think you're dumb at all, dude. I think you're a very intelligent man. Like I think you kill it.
I appreciate it, bro. Like,
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's weird, like I definitely feel like, I feel like that first 2 to 3 weeks was the hardest, like, and like I said, I got a high pain tolerance, but I found myself crying.
Yep.
Like my mom can vouch for that. Like I was still staying with them when I did that. Like,
Yep.
like middle of the night, like really crying,
screaming in pain. Yeah.
Like, bro, like, like kind of like how I was in the hospital, like. And my mom, she, describes that to be hard, like, just watching me, like,
That's her baby boy. Yeah.
that she could do.
Are you an only child or you have siblings, right?
Well, I actually have a younger brother and 2 older sisters. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
What are they up to right now?
Huh?
Or what are they up to in life? They a part of your life and stuff like that? Or
Yeah, I'm actually going to go with my younger brother and like his side of the family, like his girlfriend and like his their family, like her family, I should say.
cool.
And as far as like my older sister, she lives in St. Louis, and then the one under her, she lives right here in Hawthorne, not too far from me.
Perfect.
Actually, yesterday she pulled up to my pop-up shop.
No shit. Where is your pop-up shop? Is it close to you?
Well, I'll be doing them on Melrose. I'm actually getting ready to do one next week on Melrose. So
Oh man, yeah, that's awesome.
It's LA. It's like a little pretty popular like a sneaker store. So I'm gonna do one over there.
You got a lot of hookups. You got a lot of people around the area that know that they got your back.
Well, I noticed that people like, like people tend to gravitate towards me, like, in my story, and you know, like I just like I'm always up to like network and meet with people, you know, like.
Yep. Well, that's how I found you. You want to know how I found you? Honestly, I was trying to find like good hashtags, right? I'm like trying to figure out some good hashtags. And I'm like, you know, wheelchair disability, wheelchair life, wheelchair gang, you know, this, that, and the other thing. And like, yo, like your tag is wheelchair gang. So as I'm going through my shit, I'm like I pressed the wheelchair gang just to look through some people, and you're all over that shit. All over it. I was like, oh, this isn't
Who
like
the fuck is this guy?
This is a gang. This is the thing. Who is this guy? And then like I said, I gravitated towards it. The whole WalkingRich thing, I thought that was clever, and then I was like, oh, his fucking name is Rich. And I was like, this is fucking cool, man. Like, this is getting better and better as I go. And then I go and watch your story. I'm like, motherfuck, man, I need to get this guy on a podcast. Like, you're really, you know, like your story's cool, man. I think got a lot
Appreciate it.
lot of shit going towards
it's been a journey, you know, a beautiful one, you know, like I wouldn't take any of it back, you know. So it's just, you know, it's good to be, you know, here. You know, it's good to be in a position where you're, you know, you can look back and you're like, fuck, like, bro, like, I remember, like, just being in the hospital bed thinking that my life was over, you know, and, you know, like, you know, that's why I do what I do. That's why I try to, you know, inspire people and just try to tell people, like, bro, fuck all that weak shit, you know, like, just fucking push. Get that shit
be an
done.
alpha. Fuck this beta
I didn't have that, you know. Luckily, I had it in me, you know, like, but like I didn't really have like you know, nobody like motherfuckers is telling me, oh, it's gonna be okay, and you know, like trying to baby me, like, and I'm like, bro, back up, like, hell no, like I gotta figure this shit out, like
myself.
Like, you know, people like even like, you know, my mom, you know, she was, you know, even there just helping me so much to where, you know, to a certain degree, like
that bother you?
Really handicap
fucking
you,
right.
You know,
It really does. Yeah, you rely on others.
You remember some water, mom? Can you do this, mom? Can you do that, mom?
You start relying on others, and you start being a bitch, kind of like in that sense. You're like, do I separate myself from this, or do I continue asking for water? Like, do I get my own water? How? Right. How do I go about doing this? How do I wipe my own ass? Like, what's going on?
That's why I feel like to a certain degree, like every wheelchair user needs to get to that point where they can just be alone for a little while, because, you know, that's when you really realize, like, you know, all the things that you really can do. And, you know, it's hard to, I ain't gonna say it's hard to get water, but mentally it's hard to go and get water when someone can hop and skip over there. And just
I know it is. You're just like, oh, I really wish that,
you know, you probably gotta get and transfer over into your chair, unlock your brake, turn the chair around. You got a wheel on the car, like, you know, like
get to the water, put the water, like once I fill the glass up, I gotta put it in between my legs, and I can't feel I can't move or like feel my legs, so I'm like watching. I have like one hand, and I'm pushing with one hand, pushing with the other hand. Then I have it.
Like, yo, can you grab me a water? Like, you know, like, but unless you really have nobody around, like that's when you like, fuck, let me go grab
I don't. Yeah, I don't. It's just me and my dog. Yeah.
Oh, sure, like, you know, and you know, like I said, I just moved out of my place, and you know, like that's when, you know, like, but even before then, I was like, you know, independent, because like I lived with my mentor before, like, so there was like 2 men in the house, like.
So who is your mentor? Explain that to me. Like, how come you have a mentor? Who is he to you? Who is your mentor to you?
Well, he was a school teacher of mine. It's like I actually moved in with him when I was actually in school, you know, and he kind of like helped me onto the college path, and you know.
In high school?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So you know, that kind of carried over once I came back to LA. You know, he pretty much, you know, let me live with him, and you know, let me, you know, figure things back out. But that's like I was saying, like even like living with him, like that's like living with another man, like, you know. So like, you know, as men, we have to carry our own weight, you know, like especially like, you know, like I'm like hella alpha male, so it's just like you know, alpha male can't depend on another. You lead the pack, you know.
That's a 100% me. Me and my buddies have always talked about that. So yeah,
it's just like, you know, like
you're the glue that keeps everybody together and shit.
So you don't necessarily want to not that you don't want to come off weak, but you gotta pull your weight, you know. So
100%,
like
man.
I feel like
100%.
that, even though I was living with somebody that helped me out, like when I live with my mom, like my mom is a nurser, you know, like my mom is a lover, like, you know, like that's what she does, you know, like my mom spoils me when I don't even like I'm like, Mom, back up, like what are you doing? Like, you know, like she's like,
Yeah.
oh, well, I was just, you know, trying to see if you wanted to eat or I wanted to, you know, I'm like I'm okay,
Your
thank
mom
you.
is
Like, you
so
know, like,
cute, man. She's
you know,
hilarious.
like, but
She's a sweetheart.
that's just her natural state. Like, you
Yeah.
know, like
Yeah.
she's a nurturer, you know,
Yeah.
she wanna
Yeah.
make sure
Yeah.
you got everything you need, everything, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, that's awesome. Well, like, so what's a morning routine like for you then? Because you want to be, as of now, it's been 3 years or so. You have nobody in the house. It's just you and the Frenchie, your little pup there. What's a morning routine like for Rich there?
well, you know, first thing first, you gotta walk the dog, you know, and
Well, I
then
mean, even getting up and brushing your teeth. Like, you do all that yourself easily. Like, it's all
yeah.
transferring, right? Like,
And then not even like that, like even like my last apartment, like it wasn't even 100% handicap accessible. Like I had a step to go into my bathroom.
oh, okay.
And so like I had to like kind of like finesse up the one step, pull myself up, you know. So I had a step going out the apartment, you know. So,
Hmm.
you know, it was even, you know, some adaptability needed there, you know.
That's a hundred
But
percent, man. That's you had to hurl yourself over a step to take a shit.
yeah,
Sometimes it is code brown, and you cannot, like you can't wait about this step right now. Like, oh, come on,
right.
man.
Nah, for sure. Like, and you know, so like just a morning routine for me, you know, definitely gotta let the dog out, you know, and so she can do her thing. And then, you know, I might calf, you know, do my thing and then I feed the dog, feed myself and stuff like that. And you know, I, like for me, my days vary. You know, some days I'm focusing on manufacturing clothes. Some days I'm focusing on shipping orders. Some days, you know, I'm focusing on marketing. You know, just different things. You know, like
Wow.
you know, because there's so many different aspects to running a brand. So when you're really doing it by yourself, it makes it, you know, hard to manage everything. So I feel like, you know, certain days you need to focus on certain things, you know,
Well,
like,
yeah.
and not even certain days, but like maybe for 2, 3 days, you need to focus on straight shipping orders, or for 2, 3 days, you need to just work on fixing little marketing things and maybe working and on tweaking the site and just administrative stuff like that, you know. So,
You know what,
you
man?
know,
And that's funny you say that. Like, I recently have put myself like 100% into this content creation thing. I was really just streaming as a lot throughout the week, like games and shit like that. And I'm like, nah, like that's not how these people make it, man. They have YouTube channels, they have Instagrams, they have Twitters, they do this thing, they meet people, they fucking network. So any day, so I have a schedule for streaming. I stream fucking Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. And then any day that I'm not streaming, I'm focusing on my social media, whether it be TikTok, Instagram, all these things. And even when I'm in bed, even when I wake up, I'm like, obviously you gotta open your phone, but what are you gonna, I can't just open my phone and check my notifications. I gotta make a reason to have these notifications. I gotta make it, why? Why do I have this notification? Why do I inspire you? Why are you gonna buy my clothing? Why do you watch me? Why would I bring you to my stream? Why? I gotta give you a reason to do so, right?
yeah, no, for sure.
100%.
Yeah. So like, you know, like even like, you know, and that's even another thing, like so many different channels. So even then you gotta focus on the different channels every now and then, you know, like for me, like I have YouTube that I really don't focus on as much as I need to, but you know, I feel like for me, I'm still building that team. Like I need to
Right.
get a cameraman. Like I feel like for me, I feel like what's going to thrive for me is a day in the life type of thing, like showing people, bringing people along, like reality TV, like, you
Yeah.
know. So, like, I still need to build a team. I need a cameraman that I can have, not even a team, like, I just need to be able to pay people, you know, because I got people in my network that I can utilize, but I need to be able to constantly pay those people to just be around me all day, every day, they're making money, I'm making money. It's just a win situation for everybody.
Expensive, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that shit
Sometimes
is
it's
so
like,
really expensive.
sometimes you might get a little help every now and then. I just got a phone call. Like, I would like to create a team like that, right? And I just got a phone call from a friend saying that he is trying to learn about, I guess, like producing
Yeah,
videos and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, really? He said, yeah, he's gonna go borrow a camera off of somebody I used to play football with. I said, no way. And then he was basically saying the only thing that he can think about at this moment in time, other than editing videos, like gaming videos, would be to like come with me and make something like what you have, like this
yeah.
fucking perseverance video, and like almost remaking my what happened to me video, and like I'm like making more like a movie. He's like less than 5 minutes, something like that, like quick, easy directing. I don't know, like really moving something. And I
Yeah.
was like, man, I mentioned Jude. I was like, man, we got to do something like Rich bring me through his story, and I gave him the link and got him to watch. He's like, yeah,
We
that's
put
very
that shit
similar.
together, bro. We was doing a lot of that shit. Like, I'm like, bro, fuck, record this shit. Like, I'm like, I don't know, like,
Right.
he's like, record this shit. Like, you want me to record you crying and shit? Like, you over there crying? I'm like, bro, I don't care. Like, just like we gonna use this shit for something.
I
Like,
really wish I fucking was smart enough to do that, man, because there's a lot of serious shit.
you know, that's how I got. Like, people was like, nigga, I know you ain't roll back in the hospital to film all this shit. Like, no, that was real
That
footage.
was
Like, of me
real.
actually being in the hospital. Like, those was like real footage of the first days that I actually got out of the bed and was in the wheelchair. Like, you know, like that shit was real. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like that's why the effect is what it is. You know, like I felt like if we went back in and tried to reenact all that, it wouldn't have the same effect. You know, like
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
even when we was doing a lot of that stuff, like I didn't know what I wanted to use that stuff for. I was more so like, you know, like let me just record this, you know, and we're gonna put it together, you know, later. Like it was easy to go into therapy and have my photographer follow me into, I mean, my videographer follow me into therapy and, you know, record a day of me doing the therapy so he can use that as B-roll footage. And then
Yep.
we, you know, set up a talking scene when we actually talk and, you know, narrate the actual documentary. Like that was easy. Like what we needed was the real footage of, you know, when I was actually going through what I'm talking about, you know.
Yeah.
And that's why I say that's why it was as captivating as it was, you know, because it like that's why it gets you the way it gets you because it's like, you know, like it's not just us talking about it, you know, you see it.
You see it. Yeah.
You
Yeah, I
know,
wish I was smart enough to do that. Like, I just kind of didn't really think about content creation at that time or anything like that. I was just in so much pain. I was in the hospital for 7 months, though. Like,
yeah, I was in there for I think like I was in there for a month.
right. Like rehab and all that stuff, right?
I think I
Yeah.
was in rehab for like 3 weeks and I was in like ICU for a week or something.
Yeah. ICU is the craziest shit ever, man. ICU is like where you're like hopped up on the most drugs or trying to figure out what's going on. You're in your worst state you possibly could be. Like you see like dreams and shit. You see weird shit, man. Like
And that's why I really got off a lot of that shit because I was having nightmares and shit,
yeah,
bro.
me too. Yeah, it really is a thing, man. It really is a fucking thing. Who you're like growing up, like what was if you had to like kind of like name 3 people that like really inspired you, like kind of like brought you to where you are today, who would you do? Like who would you name? Like maybe have a dinner with these 3 people, dead or alive. You know what I mean? Like
Well, you know, definitely how I move with my brand nowadays. Like, you know, I was definitely inspired by Nip and how he moved, and you know, like with his brands and just like, you know, hey, you see it,
yeah, Nipsey was wild.
how I
Yeah,
move with my
yeah.
brand, and you know, like you gotta really like live, breathe, and eat your
Mm.
brand, you know, and that's basically what he did. Um, you know, as far as growing up, like, you know, people who really inspire me, bro, like honestly, bro, like I've always been like it's weird, bro. Like I've always like even now, like I don't even have favorite rappers. Like I'm not into like yesterday, like a rapper walked by me. I'm like, I know him from somewhere. Like and they're like, bro, Sada Baby, and I'm like, like,
Right.
I'm like, oh damn, like, like, I could have gave him some merch, but because I don't know these people, because I don't always pay attention to, I don't even watch TV, bro.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, like the news or anything like
hating
that.
on actors and stuff.
True,
Like,
true.
I like
Movies.
think a lot, like, so, like, like, yeah, like I like past like Nipsey and how he moved with his brand. It's not even like he necessarily inspired me. It's just how he moved inspired me. You get
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah. You
saying?
like what he did, and you're kind of like,
And it's just, and that's like even with me, like that's like I don't need like me myself. I don't want to inspire people, like like I want people to be inspired by necessarily like what I'm doing and how I'm moving, and like I don't want it to have to deal with me as an individual, like like so whether it is with my brand and how I move with my brand
or your
or me
story.
giving back or my
Right.
story, you
Right.
get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
I want to inspire
100%.
people through that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like
Rich in
I don't.
different ways,
That's why
man.
I say like a lot of people they're inspired. People inspire people, but I feel like people sometimes are inspired by the wrong reasons. Like people might see a chain and a nice car and these nice things, and they get inspired by that. And like somebody will yell out, "Oh, Nipsey Hussle is my inspiration." Like, okay, is Nipsey really your inspiration, or the things that he has?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's
What about him inspires you? You know what I mean? That's why I would say, like, why do I, if people tell me, like, you're really inspirational, all this shit, like, why? Like, what about it? And, like, what are you going to do to make it better in life? Like, I really hope something happens. If I'm not inspirational, if you're willing to bring my name up and say that you're inspirational, well, why?
right. Because I, even it happens to me. Like, people walk up to me and they ask me for things, and then my mom's like, "Bro, like, are you serious? Like, he just walked up and asked you for some money. Like, does he not see that you're in a wheelchair?" And I had to tell my mom. I said, "Mom, yeah, he see I'm in a wheelchair." Oh, sorry about that.
That doesn't matter to me.
I'm like, yeah, he see that I'm in a wheelchair. And I'm like, bro, he also see my car. He see my shoes. He see my chain. You know what I'm saying?
He
Like,
sees everything
I got a
outside.
joint in my ear. Like,
Yeah.
Like,
He wants what you have.
right. So
Right.
it's just like, like, yeah, he see that I'm in a wheelchair, but he also see all these different material things. And that's what led him to come and ask me for some money, not
100%.
the fact that I'm in a wheelchair. Like, and I told my mom, I said, if I gotta give back and like, like he could take my chain. He could snatch my chain right off my neck
now,
and
right
reel
here.
after him.
Right.
Like, so if that's going, me giving back and if I gotta look out for him, and I want to look out for him, you know what I'm saying? Like
From a couple bucks, whatever.
I can, you know what I'm saying? Whatever.
Yeah.
I can look out for somebody and that's gonna keep somebody from doing not only something bad to me, but something bad to the next person. Like, man, I'll do that. Like,
right, and that's like you say it bad to the next person because like if you, how many people is he gonna ask before he just fucking snaps? And now he's taking that chain. It doesn't matter. You know?
In all actuality, he asked me. He really didn't have to give me that respect.
Right.
It's a lot of people in the world that ain't even gonna give you that respect. They're gonna be like, "Oh, okay." Like, some people ask you and then you say no, and then they're like, "Okay, bet. Since you say no, I'm about to take." You feel me? Like, or some people just gonna take from the get go. Like, gonna see you. Okay, bet. He's vulnerable.
That's an easy target right there.
That's an easy target.
That's an easy target right there. Yeah. So. Wild, man. On the positive side of things, when this fucking COVID shit ends, what's your plan? Like, you want to do a vacation or something like that? Like, what's your perfect vacation? Tell me you want to go somewhere nice, other than the fact you're already in Cali.
It really hasn't been, something that's really hindered me. Like,
right.
I went to Mexico for my birthday. That was pretty dope. That was my first time going out there. Like,
how was that, like, successful wise? Like, you're drinking, everything was good. Like, how was that?
Just make sure you go with a lot of ones, like, because you can pretty much do anything. I was at the beach. I was any and everywhere.
You just get a couple dudes pick you up,
yeah,
right?
I'm like, bro,
couple toss a bill out here.
Yeah,
right?
like, yeah, bro, like, just just got to be willing to tip. They gonna make it. They're hospitable out there. They gonna make it happen for you. Like
Right,
they really
right.
make you feel good.
Do you understand how
That's
comfortable
that's not something that you get out here. Like
No,
you get out here, especially in LA, big city. Like bro, you could be like struggling to get up a curb and people walking by you and you like bro like. Ain't none of y'all gonna
Hey,
ask
yo,
me
can
for
you
no
help
help.
me? Yeah. Wild, man. Yeah, you saying that like definitely made me feel comfortable like going on vacation in the future. I can't wait to go out and do that. And even maybe some of my listeners too, like that are in wheelchairs, like definitely probably make them feel comfortable about going out to like Mexico, Cuba, Dominican, whatever, Costa Rica, these places, because they really do like it's all about hospitality and like trying to
Sure.
live.
Like
Right?
you show love, they show love back, So
Yeah.
they take care of me out there. I definitely go back. I'm up to travel anywhere, but like weed is big for us.
Yeah, it
Like
is
in
big
different
for us.
countries, some, so I think I want to go to like Amsterdam, I want to go to those places where I can definitely have access to marijuana because I can't even sleep. I wake up 2 and 3 times out the night here in my bed.
Going to go take a hit and fucking that was me last night, bro. And I was like, I really hope that I'm not up. It's like next thing you know, it's 6:30 in the morning. I'm like, man, do I text Rich? Like, do we reschedule this? I'm like, nah, yo. Like it's not even till 3 p.m. for you. Like you can figure this shit out. I think I got like 4 hours sleep and like I'm good. But 4 hours sleep for us is all right. We're all right. We can live.
People don't understand how that bad. Like a bad night like that can throw your whole day off.
Whole day. Yeah. My toes are killing me right now. I don't know, it's just my fucking toes today. Every day is different. It's always a different spot, but my toes today are fucking killing me right now.
Right. Yeah. For me, I'm in a standing pain right now, so the pain is different. It's really up and down my legs right now, but I try not to think about it too much. I just try to be busy, and that's why being on bed rest and stuff like that don't work for me because I thrive on being
busy.
active. I thrive on being busy to keep my mind off of stuff, So when I gotta sit in the bed for 20 hours out the day, oh my gosh, I'm going through it, bro.
When did you get that standing frame? Because you were like building that money up for a while.
I actually got it maybe, let me see, March, February probably.
How much was it? 3,500 was it?
No, it was like $5,000.
Or $5,000. You had 3,500 when I last checked. Was what it was.
Yeah, and I'm actually getting ready to order the actual other pieces, like the moving pieces to it, because with production, with COVID and stuff, they was telling me it was gonna be like 2 months for me to get it made.
Moving pieces, so you can move where you are, like standing, moving.
I can roll around.
What? That is so sick, man. Cook and do dishes. I don't know anything that involves
dishes, cook.
Fucking right. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Fucking right, man.
And then eventually you build your house, 100% accessible, exactly the way you need it. That's why I say you gotta have money in this situation. You gotta really get things the way you need to be comfortable and make things easier and to make your life, back to normal. If you have a house that's 111% accessible to you, from the way the closet is built, the way
the door frame sizes,
you know
what I was talking, the counters going underneath, being able to go underneath your
that's something you see in a lot of apartments, because Paris Guy, she had that in her apartment.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's like a big thing now, eh?
Let me see, I'm trying to think. She had it I feel like somebody else had it in their apartment, where under their sink, kitchen sink, you slide under,
That's what I want, man. Because that's the thing. Like, I have to like scoot right up to it and like scoot forward on my chair,
Sideways,
or
yeah.
sideways, come up sideways to it, and you're like awkward.
And now you're
You're
killing
all wet here and
Yeah,
shit. Yeah,
yeah,
like
and then you killing your like me, like my abs be on fire, like
yeah, yo, you're actually a pretty ripped dude. Like you, like it seems like I don't know if that's just like a natural, like you're like a shredded guy,
well,
but you got it
worked out a lot before I got put in the wheelchair, so
right. You
I
just had
feel
a
like
good base, eh?
yeah, and then once I got in a wheelchair, with just wheeling yourself around, your life becomes a workout. I was boxing, and I actually do workout from time to time, and I just live actively.
You eat healthy as well, or how's that work out for you?
Not as healthy as I
Little
need
Chick-fil-A
to.
action, or
Not as healthy as I need to. I try to definitely eat as healthy as I can. I normally don't eat healthy when I'm as busy, because the
you're
fast,
on the
not
move.
fast food, because I really don't eat fast food, but the unhealthier foods are easier to access.
Okay. LA,
So,
right?
huh?
You're in LA, right? I guess that's
Yeah,
like the
LA,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So you're
Yeah.
I've seen you golfing a lot recently.
Yeah, I'm
Like
golfing like once a week down at Westchester Golf Course with my coach David Mater and David Color Mater, yeah, DKM Golf. Yeah, so he's been teaching me, and we've been working through some things. I started with two hands, then I started with the two hand, one hand follow through, and then now I have a one hand swing all the way through.
so
So,
you only is it preferred for them when they're teaching you to do a one-handed swing?
well, I mean, it's really up to you, but most adaptive golfers, even the guys that you see in the USD Open, they're golfing with one hand because that's when you can have the most club swing and the most power.
Huh.
And then you have the most extension, like you can really get the club back, like, and come through. Like,
Yeah. Fuck, I've always wanted to try golfing. So why golfing over like basketball or rugby or anything like that? Like boxing, like why golfing?
I mean, I did a lot of that stuff. So it's just like, I'm a better golfer than I golfed before when
Oh, okay.
I was a pretty good athlete. So it's like, I can't do like those sports get boring for me. Because I
Right.
was used to flying through the air and
Right.
trying, like on my feet, I was so much more athletic, versus really isn't an athletic sport.
What were you what sports did you play when you were on your feet?
I ain't gonna say it's not an athletic sport, but when you're an athlete, you have an advantage because golf is
Yeah.
really a fundamental sport.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Did you play like
Like,
football or basketball when you're able-bodied, or
yeah, I played football, basketball, baseball, ran track.
fucking right?
I fuck around playing soccer. I do whatever.
That's awesome. Yeah, yeah,
I was just active. Like even I just lived an active lifestyle. Even now, like I still live like an active lifestyle. Even like when I was a kid, I was always hopping gates. I was always running around. Like
pool hopping. Yeah, yeah.
like even now, like I'm willing, I'm hopping off the curb, I'm moving in that wheelchair.
Yeah.
Like
Good right, man. Good for you. I'm glad that you've sort of like you never really let this knock you down, even from the start. This is the first time, like obviously you had a depression stage, right? At the beginning, like you're depressed and
yeah,
it's tough
exactly.
to
I went through, you definitely got to take time to wrap your head around things and adjust to it's really a mental thing, because you just like, you're thinking about all the things that you can't do. You're thinking about, all the things that you used to do. And, you just used to living your life a certain way. And, when that changes, you don't really know how to like wrap your head around, how are you going to adapt? But once you learn that you can adapt, like, then, things become a lot easier.
mm-hmm.
Like, and I always tell people, like, don't think about it, just do it. Like, you fall, get back up, like, and that's kind of like, I feel like that's what helped me. I was always that type of person, like, so like when I actually got in the wheelchair and I actually fell and I got back up, like I fell yesterday, or no, was that yesterday? I fell 2 days ago.
How'd
Yeah.
that happen?
Just moving too fast. Like, oh, I was looking for my wallet. and I came off the curb, and I came off wrong because
Yep.
it was something right there,
Yep.
and but like a dude jumped out his car to help me, and I'm like, no, I got it, like like before he just kept trying to come over there, but before he actually, I was telling him that I got it is because I'm not about to sit there and wait for you to help me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, like, and I
Yeah.
know like I can get in my chair in half the time it takes you to get over here.
Right, you'll be fine.
So like, and I just
move on
showed
with
him,
your
like,
day.
I'm like, I got it, and he kept trying. I'm like, yeah, I told you I got it, like, like, thanks, dog.
He's just gonna go tell his family about that now. He's gonna be like, yo, this fucking, I saw this wheelchair dude fall out of his chair, and then he just jumped right back in that thing. He wouldn't let me help him, nothing.
And then I'm like, yeah, bro. I'm like, my bad. I'm like, my bad. You even had to see me do that. I'm like, cause for most people, niggas like, oh, like,
yeah, exactly.
Like,
yeah.
I'm like, my bad. You had to see me go through that. Like, and I was like, I lost my wallet, so I was really trying to get out here, and I was like, nah, it was in my car though. And then he was like, yeah, bro, make sure you go around to the right the next time. But I went right back up the curve and right back down
back
the same
down.
curve I just
Oh my god,
and
man,
he
you're
was
hilarious.
like, all right, I guess I can't tell this guy nothing. Like,
yeah, you're fucking hilarious, bro. So
but that's like I am. You see,
Yeah.
like I fail. Like most people are like, I ain't doing that. I fail. Like, no, I know I can do that. And I know what caused me to fall. Like, I'm gonna get it right the next time. Like, I'm not gonna go around, when I know that I can go right over this. Like, it's not a matter of I can't, it's just a matter of do it right and do, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep, exactly.
it ain't a matter like, and that's how most people are. Most people are gonna change the way they do something versus like just get it right. Like, like
yeah. No, you definitely like you persevered quite well. Like, what pulled you out of that depression stage, do you think?
Just having the people around me that like my friends and stuff, my mom, my parents, like, and it was just in me, like, like I just was like, I can't let these people see me fold, like, like a lot of these people, they're dependent on me, like a lot of these people depended on me for so many different things, like how am I gonna fold on these people? I'm like, but you gotta get up, like you can't, like, you cannot live like a lifestyle where you here, but like your life ended in 2017 when you got shot, like, like you got to figure out a way to live a better lifestyle, like, so
you just pulled yourself out of that one day. It wasn't really.
That's a lot of facts. I had the support of my mom, and she was helping me do a lot of my day-to-day stuff. Like she was making life easier for me, so that I can pull myself out of the mental rut that I was in. Like. So,
what's the best compliment you've received recently then? Like, seeing as we've been talking about all this negative shit, like, what would somebody give you a compliment? What Chica give you a compliment recently or anything?
It was kind of cool. Yesterday I was standing in like a fruit line on Melrose, and then like, actually I was at my pop-up at first, and the homie like, hey bro, come talk to these girls, and then I'm like, they keep looking over here, and then I like pop out the van, and I'm like, but they like far. So then I'm like, I'm trying to like get eye contact with them to call them over, talk, tell them about my story or whatever and about my brand and stuff.
Yeah.
They're like, like they're not really making eye contact. It's not really working out. So I'm like, all right, bet. So I ended up getting back in the van. I'm like, all right, bet. So I smoked, and then I'm like, I want some fruit. So I go to the fruit stand, and then I'm actually in line. It's this guy. He's like from like Houston or whatever, but like we look like we could be together. We both like light skin, like we both got like good hair, like So like we low-key could look like we could pass for like cousins or something, like, so like we both in line, and then and it's funny because like I guess because I'm in a wheelchair, this guy walks up to me and asks me, do I want to buy some drugs? And then I'm like, nah, bro, I'm good. Like, like I don't really mess around with those.
Yeah, I'm straight.
He was like, perks, and I was like, you can't buy perks off the streets, like, because we have fake stuff on.
Always pressing it, yeah.
I'm like, I'm good, whatever. And he was like, bruh, God sent you to me. He was like, my back hurts so bad. He's like, I'll take 3.
God
Boom.
sent you to me.
He took 3. Boom. So we standing up there. Now the girl walks up to me and she's like, hey, I just want you to know that, I follow you on Instagram and you're like such an inspiration. Like, she's like, just keep doing what you're doing. Like, she's like, I went over there to your pop-up, like, I'm gonna, support whatever, we chopping it up and, we connect on Instagram and I'm like, all right, cool. I appreciate you coming and holler at me. Like, cause most people, they just look, and they don't really say nothing, So I'm like, oh, I appreciate you coming. So then she's like, okay, cool. She's like, wait, hold on real quick. So then she goes, talks to the lady in Spanish. They have like a whole 5-minute conversation in Spanish. So she's like, oh, well, yeah. I was like, well, you speak fluent Spanish. She's like, oh, yeah. And she was like, I'm like, I don't know nothing you just said, but she was like, oh, well, I was just telling her like that I wanted some fruit. And when she makes my fruit, to make your fruit and to pay for his fruit as well. The guy who bought the perks got the perks, the fruit, and he was like, he looked back at me, he was like, off from hanging with you, man.
Off from hanging with you, yo. God sent me to you, bro.
And he was like, I got everything I needed just by standing next to you.
Oh my fucking
I'm
God.
like, all right, man, you take it.
I did not
right,
expect
man,
this to go that way.
But it was good. Like, she showed love. Like, he showed love. Like, it was cool. Like, like.
Dude, that is so sweet, man. That's awesome. Yeah, right place at the right time. He made his day.
Yeah, like, everybody. And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what it's about for me. Like, like, even though, like, that's kind of like in a negative light, some people might say, like, oh, he's busting illegal drugs. Like, but, you never know what people are going through. You never know, like, he bought a perk. You never know how his body feel. Like, he say his back was hurting. Like, you never, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so, like, in a sense, like, that's like you helped him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then, like, it worked for everybody. Like, even the guy who was selling the damn stuff, like, he made him some cool money. He was trying to sell me something. I didn't want it. Like, they was able to make it happen. Like, it didn't have nothing to do with me. It was cool. Like, then I got the guy some fruit for free on top of that. Like
thinking
I
got he's fruit, with you. You got like, fruit.
And her coming over and one buying the fruit, and then not only that, just coming over hollering at me, connecting with me on Instagram, letting me know who she was and how she was inspired by me and my story. Like, so it was dope. Like,
that's awesome, man.
That was definitely like
awesome.
Some Melrose shit. That's some Melrose.
Yes.
Anybody that knows Melrose is like heavy, like it's street.
It's always like that, yeah.
Well, it's like, a lot of street art, a lot of streetwear brands and stuff like that. Like, it's a lot of like drugs and weed smoking going on out there, so like, like that was some Melrose. Like, that was right, like that was bound to happen on Melrose. That was happening anywhere, like, like even the fact that they was even comfortable with doing that over there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like that's the culture over there,
Cool, man. That's awesome. That's awesome, man. Well, fuck, speaking of all this Instagram stuff, let's pull up your Instagram here, shall we? How do I do that? Usually I always forget. It'll be like this, right? This is your Instagram right here. WalkingRich.
Yep, that's me, man.
That's right, man. So everybody, this is where you guys can find Rich. It's at WalkingRich on Instagram. Is it also WalkingRich on YouTube as well, or?
Yeah, WalkingRich everything. WalkingRich everything.
Yeah, he's got a great brand. Like, honestly, when it comes down to not only just the movement, but the actual clothing line is a really nice line. Like, I really like this, like this pushed out style.
Yeah, they're boss.
Yeah, I really like that a lot. Who doesn't want a good, nice rolling tray as well?
Got the accessories.
Can't go wrong.
Pressure store on lock right there.
Yes, yeah, you can't fuck her. Yes, yeah, that's what we're talking about. You can't fuck around with pressure stores. It's no joke. And also within his Instagram, he's got his link within his link tree, and it shows his story right here.
Yeah, my story.
You go check his story out on YouTube, and I'm telling you, it is worth the 35-minute walk through. And even if you wanted to just skip to 7 minutes. That's like the craziest part to me. It's a 7.5 minute mark, but I really think it's worth the whole 35-minute walkthrough, to be honest, because it was a really
I
good.
definitely appreciate it. I definitely appreciate you taking
100%.
2 hours out of your life to watch my story. Not one time, but you said you
Four
watched it 4 times.
times, man. I watched that shit 4 times. It was really crazy, man. I'm not joking when I say that was one of the craziest. Like whoever directed and produced that or whatever, like helped you out with that, did a very good job.
Stay Positive Studios, Charles Keys, his Instagram is California Rep. And we met in college. We from 2 different backgrounds. Just a little bit of about me and him. Like, in LA, you got Bloods and Crips. He grew up on the Crip side, and I grew up on the Blood side. So like, we really, not even really supposed to associate, like that. And we were able to, look past the colors and stuff like that, and not only become close friends, but become lifelong friends.
Awesome. That's awesome. And make great content
I was
too.
the second person. He was the second person
Yeah.
that was by my hospital side, and I was surprised to see him there. Like,
Amazing.
What you doing here? He like, bro, I just had to come out here. I had to get here, bro. Like, I'm like, bro, how'd you get here? He said, I just went on Instagram and was like, yo, my boy Rich got shot. Who could get me there? Because he was, at that point in time, he was struggling. He was going through a lot of things. He didn't really have the finances to really come to Jacksonville. So for him to be there, I was really surprised. And I'm like, bro, how'd you get here? Like, he's like, bro, like, he's like, somebody gave me this, and he's like, this person gave me this, and I came. Like, I'm like, okay, damn. I'm like, bro, that's crazy. Like, I appreciate you, making the effort and just doing all of that, to come pull up on me,
So he went and he goes through all this effort to do that and go see you and stuff like that. And then you have so many people in your life that like didn't even acknowledge you or whatever, or come see you, whatever. And you're just like, man, like your excuses are null void to me when you come to all this. Like I don't give a shit.
Made it happen, my boy Chef Nim, a lot of, it was a handful of guys that, really made great efforts to really come down and check on me and make sure that I was good,
Yeah.
And it was guys that, had every means, to come and check on me that really never ever came to check on me.
Mm-hmm.
Or if they did, they checked on me when they had to, So
wow.
It's a big eye opener, and I think, it definitely puts a lot of stuff into perspective, about, who you have around you and why they are around. And, I think you just, once you go through something like that, you start to just take life more serious, and, you don't make excuses. And, this is my second chance at life, so
really is. It really is. Yeah.
Mistakes, the first time around, I made mistakes that, nearly cost my life, so, like this time around, with my eyes open and me being a lot wiser and stuff, like, I'm gonna be smarter,
100%.
And I'm gonna move different,
Second chance at life is a great way to sum it up, because that's how I say it too. Like I say, like I talk about my life as if this is a whole new life. Like when people talk about my past life, I always say, I'm not like that anymore. I'm not that person anymore. So you really can't you really can't chop me into that past life or whatever. But I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it at all. Past life shit. I don't like thinking about the past. I'm all about the future. I'm all about
like I don't really, and it's crazy because like WalkingRich, it plays a part of me in both ways. Like WalkingRich was somebody who I am now, but it's also talks about who I was and how I see videos and I see the way I talk and the thing, like my mindset back then, and like I really sometimes I'm disgusted by who I was as a person back then, and
takes a man to say that, bro. It takes a real man to say that, like really just be like absolutely.
I'm an honest person, like anybody will tell you, like you never really have to worry about me, like I speak what's on my heart, and like I speak the truth, and that's why I really say things in a moment, because that's when you're gonna say the most truthful things. When you can think about it, you're gonna change it around, you're gonna alter it, and it's not gonna come out the same. You know, that's why I just really, I say just what's on my heart right then and there. I don't really put a lot of thought into it, you know, like. And with that being said, like, you know, like I know for a fact when I look at pictures of me and I look at videos of me, I'm just like, bruh, like, like,
You don't like it? Yeah.
who were you? Like, and I describe that person as WalkingRich, you know, but WalkingRich is who I am now and like how I move now. Like, so that's why I say it's a play on both ways of who I am,
Very wild.
you know.
Yeah, very wild. Yeah. Well, yo, we do one more. I'll ask you one more question. It's a would you rather. So would you rather be, there's a bunch of dumbass questions I ask, but this one I'm going to ask you is, would you rather be a deep sea diver or an astronaut? Like this is like, and these are the types of things that you don't need to use your legs, like you aqua.
I'd be an astronaut. Yeah. I think, you know, I feel like there's no gravity in space, so I think I will be like, I will be able to walk in space.
Right, like in the and nobody's walking in space, right? Like everybody's just kind of popping around, right?
Yeah, but I got movement in legs, so I can literally be out there like this. Like, I can like I can pretty much do the same thing in water, but in water there's still some sort of gravity
resistance. Yeah. That's wild. An astronaut. Fucking right, buddy.
Definitely an astronaut.
All right, Astronaut Rich, thanks for coming by, bro. I love talking to you, and I hope we can. I hope when you're feeling better with the sore, you go for your surgery. 2 months. We talk later on, and we chop it up and make sure things are going straight with you, and maybe something even better happens with your brand. You know.
All right, most definitely, man. I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yeah. Take care, brother.
All right, thanks for having me.
Cheers.
Don't have enough energy. Don't have enough time. Is that what's stopping you right now? Don't have enough money? Is that the thing? Or is the thing that's stopping you, you?
Excuses sound best to the person that's making them up. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Get off the pity potty. Telling everybody your sad and sob stories, trying to get people to show up to your pity parties and your pity parades. Wake your ass up.